Hey everyone, grab your pen and paper. It's time for Olivia's Colorful Cooking. And now, here's Olivia.
Hello and welcome to Colorful Cooking. Today we have an exciting recipe for you to prepare any time of year if you like grapes. If you're not a grape lover, this is not the recipe for you. My name is Dr. Olivia Moses and this is Colorful Cooking, a show where we definitely put more colors on the plate and we make things that are nutritious, delicious, and extremely easy. You don't even need a stove for our recipe today, which is always an exciting thing for those of you who are camping or in a dorm room. These are the kinds of recipes where you just take out of the refrigerator, chop it up, and assemble, and you're good to go. And you can actually have something fairly gourmet, which is what we're going to do today. Today, our highlight ingredient is the grape. Now, grapes are one of those fun things that a lot of us, when we were kids, had fun eating, because they were these little balls where we can throw up in the air and drop in our mouth and try to catch them, and they're just little bite size for kids. So if we go to our slides, we can see some of the uses that we actually use with grapes. So we make jams out of them. I think we can have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Vinegar, actually, there's vinegars that are made from grapes. Wine, of course, is what some people think of. Raisins, which is the dried grape, and grape seed oil. And the benefits of grape seed oil to your health has actually been studied with various researchers. Now, grapes, again, let's look at all the different kinds of grapes that we can get as well. And interestingly enough, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization, approximately 47,000 miles of our globe is dedicated to growing grapes. So we do love our grapes. Uses for grapes and the percentage of the world production of grapes, we have 71% use it for wine, 27% for fresh fruit, and 2% for the dried grapes or raisins. Now, the top 5 grape producers are actually not here in the U.S. We're number 3rd, actually. Number 1 is Italy. Number 2 is China. Number 3, the United States. 4, France, and 5, Spain. That took me by surprise a little bit, because here in Southern California, you think about grapes and vineyards in Northern California, but we have a lot of other countries that are producing a ton of grapes out there. So, links to health. Grapes have some chemical compounds called phytochemicals, and phytochemicals have been linked to have a positive impact on certain cancers, heart disease, degenerative nerve diseases, viral infections, Alzheimer's disease. All of these things have been linked to help, and grapes have been linked to help. Now, with this, a lot of times we think about grapes, we think about maybe wine, and a cup of wine, we've heard that. Now, if we take the alcohol issue out of it, the benefit of grapes is with the coating or the skin, and the skin should be purple if you're trying to get those protective or beneficial elements of the grape. It does not have to be fermented, but the actual grape is what we're seeing a lot of research on. The actual fresh grape, and using that skin is the important part. Now, with this also, we have our recipe. So let's get to our recipe. It is probably one of the most simple recipes we have had here on Colorful Cooking. So this time, I usually like to make my dressings before. We're actually going to make it afterward, and we're going to drizzle it on top, which is one of the few salads that I do this with. So again, the salads we have, look at our salads. We have grapes galore. We have red grapes, we have green grapes, we have purple grapes. We also add oranges and bananas in here too. And this is actually our first entirely fruit salad that we're having as well. For our dressing, we're going to use honey, we're going to use mint, and we're going to use lime juice as an option. Today I'm not going to use lime juice because I think some of our citrus is going to be sour enough. Okay, so are we ready to get started? Now, I must warn you with this recipe that a lot of the work happens with the chopping. However, you can make this before your guests come and have it sit in a refrigerator to help meld all the flavors. So that is a great thing about this. Now, with grape salads, a lot of times people, because it is a lot of work, all they will do is they will separate the grapes off the, I'm going to call it a vine, and they put the grapes in whole. Well, what I'm going to do here is I am going to actually start cutting some of these grapes, which to me is more beautiful a presentation of the grape than actually having them, all of them whole. So some of them will have full, some of them we're going to have cut up. And I'm going to show you the differences with these grapes. Now, notice here I'm using red grapes. I have some big green grapes, and if you notice that these green grapes are bigger. The sizes don't matter with this. We're trying to get a punch of color, and actually some of them do taste different, and they're going to have a different level of sweetness. Okay, so you just take them right off, and I just want to show them to you side by side so you can see the beauty of the colors that we're using today with this one particular fruit or berry called grape, whatever you want to call it. Here we go. So do you see the gorgeousness of these different colors here? We have the green, we have the red, we have the purple. Okay, now watch what I'm doing. I'm cutting this on a bias, and do you see what I just did? Look at that beautiful grape, and it actually looks very, very pretty in the bowl. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start cutting. Start cutting some of these grapes on a bias, and it takes a little while, but what can be easier is if you line 2 grapes up and cut them together. This is a nice little assignment for someone who's not really good in the kitchen. You sit them on the counter and they can help you do this because it's not that hard. And while you're doing other things, you can have your grapes being chopped. That's kind of what we did in my house, actually. My mom and my dad are actually very good chefs. And my mom, what she'd do is she'd set us up on the counter while she was actually doing all the hard work. We got to do all the, I call the foofy work, where we get to sit down and we get to chop and do all kinds of things that are kind of easier. So do you see how I'm cutting all of these things? And it's going to take a little while, so we're going to spend some time doing this. Now remember, these grapes are wonderful when they're in season because they have this wonderful, wonderful sweetness. It's almost like candy. Have you ever had a fruit that you said, oh my goodness, this tastes exactly like candy? Or and it's better for you. Okay, so we're cutting these grapes up. The smaller ones are a little bit harder because they go a little bit slower. There we go. This reminds me of being home. Going into the market. Do any of you freeze fruits and vegetables? I think some of you do. When things are in season, you buy them in bulk and then you wash them and cut them. That's a lot of work, but in the wintertime, when fruits are not in season or vegetables are not in season, and you can open that can or you open that bag, it's actually a wonderful, wonderful thing. Let's get some more of these really dark grapes. Now, did you know that when you have these grapes, they can actually be used as a garnish, and I should have done that today. But grapes on the vine, just like this, you can take the small, the teeny, the mini ones, or you can take grapes like this when they're wet, or you can drizzle some honey, which we're going to do today, but for a garnish, and then you roll it around in sugar, and it creates a really beautiful effect. It's almost all these little crystals you see on the grape. It's a beautiful, beautiful centerpiece if you're planning a holiday centerpiece or a family reunion, or even just a dinner party. Okay, so like I said, this takes a little while, but it makes a beautiful, beautiful presentation. Now these are seedless grapes, and there are benefits to having or consuming grape seeds. However, it's not a love of mine to chomp on those seeds. I think probably the only seeds that I eat are pomegranate seeds. But grape seeds also have benefits to your health as well. Okay, look how gorgeous this is. So let us bring up, while I keep on chopping, I want you to get your pen and paper out so we can write down this recipe of ours. Okay? So for our salad portion, we have the different kinds of grapes. So you see red grapes there, so that's our red. We have our orange color. We have our actual oranges that we're using today, and I'm going to show you how to wedge them or make orange wedges. And then we have bananas, which we're calling our yellow, which is technically, I'm kind of cheating on that one because we actually eat the white part. But we're going to call the banana our yellow, and then we have green grapes, and we have purple grapes. And what I suggest you do is just buy whatever grapes are in your grocery store. When I went grocery shopping last night for today's show, I bought a whole package, and sometimes they come in a package where you get all of these grapes in the same container. So we got the purple, the green, and the red all in the same container. Okay, if you see how beautiful this is in the bowl already, right there, just having a whole ton of grapes in the bowl is actually a beautiful thing without even adding anything else. Isn't it wonderful? This color of the rainbow. Now, if we look at our dressing is even more simple than the ingredients that we're using for our salad. That's a bad one. We have honey, and we're using mint, and that might be a surprise to some of you out there. Mint we're using, and that might be not something that you really think about when you think about fruit salad, but it gives a really nice flavor. So look at that. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we got our grapes all chopped up. Now what we're going to do for our yellow, we have some bananas. Okay? So you know what? I'm going to save these to the end because we don't want them turning brown. Let's do some of our oranges. Now, with these oranges, I'm going to wedge them. So this also takes a little time, and I'll show you how. The top we cut off, the bottom we cut off, so we don't have rolling. And then we're going to use your knife and cut it at an angle, and we're just going to go all the way around the orange. What we're trying to do is cut off the whole skin and cut off also that white, you see that white rind, and that white rind can be fairly bitter, so we're trying to cut that off. Okay? So you're not going to be able to get all the white off in one try, because it's really a challenge. So sometimes that's what I do. I'm like, how much of this white can I get off in one try and see how good I'm doing? So as you can see, I'm not an expert at this, but anybody can do it. Okay? We just have to take some time and get right around. There we go. Okay? So we still have some white on there, so we're going to take that out. And do you see that we see the segments of the orange show itself? Okay, so right here we see the segments of the orange. Let's get that white part off. Okay, so you see the segments of the orange, and when we peel the orange and eat it, we usually, these segments, these membranes separate each piece of that orange for us, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So here we go. We're going to take that segment, use that, and cut in at an angle right along the segment of the orange, and right there, look at that, fell right out. Beautiful segment of an orange that has no skin in it or on it. There we go. We're going to do it again. Beautiful segment right there. Okay? So try to find the membrane, cut right along it. Pull out that orange, beautiful orange wedge. See, I got some white there. Get that right off. And find the membrane. Cut right along the membrane. There you go. Do another one, and you do that all the way around the orange. Okay? Want to try to use every bit of it. So there we go. Pull that orange right out. So simple, but so elegant in this kind of salad. Okay, right there. Go right along. Do you know what would be really pretty in this particular salad? A blood orange. And you can do the same thing with a blood orange and get all the segments out. Okay, there we go. We have this big floppy piece of orange. Throw that out, and we have segmented our salad. There we go. That's our orange, and we're going to do one more, but I'm going to go faster. So see how fast this is going to go? We cut off the top. Cut off the bottom, cut off all the skin, off the orange. There we go. This is a beautiful salad that actually can be used as a dessert, and I will get there in a second. Here we go. We got to get all that white part off. There we go. All done. So how easy was that? Real quick, okay? And the easiest thing to do is just get right above your bowl and segment this orange out. Okay, there we go. And it goes really quickly. Let's get some of this white out. There we go. Look at these beautiful segments of orange. No peel, so you're not chewing for days. Okay, there we go. There are segments of our orange, and if we toss that all together, you see how beautiful that looks. Okay, so now to get some yellow, I am actually going to cut an apple just to get some color in there. I had it in the bowl. This was not in the recipe, so I'm actually going to use just a little bit of apple. Now I cut the apple in half, cut it in a quarter. Now there are two ways you can cut this. I don't suggest this way, but a lot of people cut it this way, and you try to get the core out, and then you see something go like this, and then it flies up, and you're almost cutting your finger. The best way to do this is to cut the apple and then cut it on a bias. There we go, all done. Okay, so we're going to cut this apple up really quickly to get some crunch of the yellow in there. There we go. Apple. Okay. There we go. I know I'm making some of you hungry because I'm getting hungry and I'm standing right here. Okay, there we go. That's actually half an apple. And I'm going to do now the banana. So the banana, I'm going to peel the whole thing open. Okay, broke on me. There we go. And cut the tip of it off. And we're just going to do rounds here. Okay, just rounds on our, there we go. So how pretty is this looking to you already, and doesn't take any time. Okay, we got our bananas. Look at that. Okay. Now, a lot of people, when they think of salads, they don't think of fruit salad. Fruit salad, what a great dessert. You got your sweetness, you got its low calorie, and it's good for you. Look at how beautiful that is. Okay, we got a banana in there. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually do the mint. Now, here's mint. Mint is extremely fragrant. So you can smell it, and it is actually fairly strong. So see the taste of the mint, see how strong your particular mint is, and then we want to get these leaves off the mint stalk here. And we're going to finely chop this mint into our salad. This is our va-va-voom of our recipe, okay? Something that people don't think about, but actually delicious, and actually makes your recipe all of a sudden gourmet. Isn't it interesting how just one ingredient or a few ingredients can you're all of a sudden gourmet? Okay, here we go. Look at that mint now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just ball it up and get a chop on it. Okay? Okay, got to clean our board there. And we're going to finely chop this. There we go. And the fragrance of this mint is unmistakable. Okay? So there we go. We got some mint in there. I'm going to do a little bit more because I want a nice little, nice covering of this mint all over our fruit. Okay? So here we go. And I think I've mentioned this to you before in another show, when we did a recipe with mint, we used mint actually with garbanzo beans or chickpeas in a salad. And you can actually take these mint leaves, if you don't use all of them and you're worried about them going bad in your refrigerator, stick them in some water and stick them on the stove. And there you have some very, very nice air freshener or some tea, which is actually nice. Just boil some mint leaves. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay, just do a very quick chop on this mint. There you go. Okay, look at that. Beautiful, smelling great, looking great. We got our red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple in the bowl. Okay, now another thing that we're going to use that can actually get this into a gourmet arena is honey. Okay, so we're going to actually put some honey on here, and it's going to add some sweetness. And we have here, we have a fork, and this is what I suggest that you do. You use your fork to put into the honey instead of using, sometimes these honey bottles will come with a lid with a hole in it. What I suggest is you use the fork to then drizzle the honey all over, so you're not getting that big kind of streak of honey all over the fruit, and it's hard to kind of get the honey all over it. Okay, so honey, I think, is just a fun thing to play around with. There we go. And I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I'm going to make sure that we get enough honey in here. But with the honey and mint, are you seeing how fancy and snazzy this dessert can be as a fruit salad? Now, if you look at this, this can be very easily a standalone salad on a plate. Okay, right there, a standalone salad on a plate. But I'm going to show you something very fun that anybody can do. Okay, now look at these beautiful glasses that I have here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to actually take some of this fruit and I am going to put it in the bottom of these very pretty glasses. Look at how pretty that is so far. And what I'm going to do then now is I am going to put some yogurt on here. I have vanilla yogurt here, fat-free vanilla yogurt. And I'm going to stick some of that into this beautiful, beautiful cup. Okay? So we're going to make kind of a parfait. But look how pretty this is. Okay? And you'll see the layers right here. I'm going to take my honey fork. I'm going to put some more. Of the fruit in there. Look how pretty that is. Okay? Right there. Look how pretty. We have a very, very beautiful parfait. I'm going to put some extra yogurt here on the top. And what then I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little sprig of mint, if you want to get a little foofy, and we're going to put a little sprig of mint right here on the top as a beautiful garnish to our beautiful low-calorie dessert that we have here. Now, I have mentioned here on the show also that I am lactose intolerant. So this is not necessarily a dessert that I can eat. So what I did is I have another option for you. So we're going to put our parfait to the side, and I'm going to get out another cup, and we're going to put some fruit in here at the bottom. But look how beautiful this fruit is. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I have some sorbet. Okay, so today I have strawberry sorbet. You can use raspberry, you can use blackberry, but I have beautiful sorbet here that we can dollop on this. Look how fun this is, and it's gorgeous. Okay, so you see this right here on the side. You get all that wonderful color. Get more of that fruit on there. And you have a very, very fancy dessert option for your guests that is not only beautiful, but delicious and also nutritious. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plate it also on a plate for you so you can see what it actually looks like on the plate. As just a regular fruit salad, which is also a very, very nice touch to it. Okay, look how beautiful that is with all those colors on it. Okay, so I'm going to get all of them out so you can see all the differences here. Oh, this one's feeling lonely. It wants to get fancied up with a little sprig of mint. Okay, here we go. We got a little sprig of mint right in the middle. Okay, so let's do our tasting, and you know what I'm going to do? Okay, and I'm going to choose the sorbet because that one's my favorite actually. But you know what? Let me taste it with the mint and the honey. Okay, so the best part now we're getting to taste. What you taste here when you eat the fruit, you taste the sweetness of the honey, you taste the sweetness of the fruit, and they complement each other and they elevate it to a different level. Plus, with that mint at the top, you get this fresh brightness, refreshing taste and feel in your mouth. And I'm going to get some sorbet, which is also huge dessert in here, and I'm going to get some apple. Let's get some apple. Okay. I could eat this all day. I can't tell you how decadent this is. And again, beautiful, beautiful dessert. You can do it plain, you can do it with a yogurt, or you can do it with a sorbet. So let's go to the recipe again. So very, very simply, we have red grapes, we have oranges, we have bananas. I threw in some yellow apples in there. We have green grapes, purple grapes, and the dressing, very simple, honey and mint. And if you want some sour in there, we got some lime juice as well. And what's exciting about this is that we can do healthy things, nutritious things that are also delicious. You can do it with, like we said again, with the sorbet. You can actually do a sherbet if you want to. You can do it with different flavors of yogurt if you want to do a parfait, or you can do it like a plain fruit salad that is delicious and nutritious. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had as good time as I did.